Good morning, my gentle humans. I am on the road today. I'm driving down to Missouri to see my mom. She lives alone and I haven't seen her since March. That's right when the pandemic happened. I was very lucky that she came up and drove up herself just to celebrate both of our birthdays, which are about 8 days apart. We're both Pisces. Just one of those kismet moments that we got to see each other, fill our hearts with love, and then she drove back down, and then there was lockdown here in the United States. Obviously now we can still travel, but it is ill-advised, and I'm still taking that chance, but very, very safely. I took a COVID-19 test, came back negative. I've been socially distant from my husband these past few days, and it's just been one of those workaround times that on the surface feels very mechanical, where I'm like, okay, I need to do this, and then everything will be fine. And you're so cautious all the time. You have like 12 guards up, at least I do, and I feel like I need to do that in order to feel safe and feel like I'm doing the right thing for at least my family and my immediate people that I'm in contact with. But of course on the surface there's that mechanicalness, and then underneath is the duck treading water, the classic, like, just keep pushing all those feelings down, and the undercurrents of a true anxiety-ridden crisis in all of us, and it's really dire. This is supposed to be like a good morning rant, and also a welcome to all the new faces who clicked on this video. I'm sorry, I just launched right into it. Hi, my name is Diana Chu. I am here at Slow Gaze once more. I upload every Wednesday when I can, and it is the channel, the place for slowing down and gazing inwards. And I've been unpacking that a lot. I've been unpacking what it means to go in front of the camera and speak to an audience that I barely know. Some of you have been very gracious and have been leaving comments, have been engaging me in dialogue and giving me a lot of encouragement. That's probably one of the biggest takeaways here. Kindness is free, and it is one of those currencies that we have left. I think the other currency we have left is authenticity, and that's why I bring you the morning edition of Diana Chu here. It is Saturday morning, bright and early. I'm looking quite glossy because I just came out of the shower, just slathered my face in mineral sunscreen. I know that I'm going to be in the car for about 7 to 8 hours, and then I layered on a lot of other face products that have some SPF to them. I'm so excited to be able to see my mom. I wish you a very, very safe holiday, however you choose to celebrate it. I wanted to update you quickly on my low buy because I know that that has been a pretty popular topic here. I know that many of you have probably found me from my whole makeup collection or my eyeshadow collection declutters. Those two videos themselves are really out there in the world, running around talking to people, like mingling hard. That's to me a trend in not just anti-consumerist or minimalist or reformed beauty YouTube. Yes, these are all trends, but obviously it's taking into account the zeitgeist as a whole, and in particular the pandemic is making us all maybe rethink our priorities. Times are tight, things are shifting constantly, there's no way to plan. I'm at least feeling very trapped in this endless cycle of just downfall, just this tumble. Obviously downwards doesn't mean always like you're gonna hit the bottom and you're gonna stay there. There's always an upward swing, there's always change and cycles. I wanted to also mention that every time I go back into nature, be it on a walk or just take a moment to really stop facing a screen, I notice that Mother Nature is impervious to our whims and our anxieties and our joys. If you're also a Jack Kerouac fan and have read Dharma Bums, that is my absolute favorite book of his and from the Beat Generation that I've read so far. He is really famous obviously for on the road, jazz kind of sequencing of words where everything kind of speaks to its own beat. There's not usual traditional like punctuation. Sometimes it just kind of runs on and the characters always tumble into each other, and there's always such a fluidity and there's a joy under all of it, and a desperation. Anyway, this book, The Dharma Bums, it does have lots of Buddhist leanings, Buddhist teachings, Zen master teachings, like so many ideologies behind it. You should read the Dharma Bums. It is one of my favorite books, probably of all time. There's this moment, I think it's like the three eventualities are listed, and one of them is blank nirvana. One of them is, oh man, I'm gonna forget, like dusty books, and then something about nature. Nature doesn't care about you. I am not putting it very well. I am paraphrasing the hat off of my head. Is it apathetic? Is it disinterested? It's just basically immune to your whims. You can go out into the woods and find your cabin, live in your tiny house, and feel disconnected from all of this. Nature won't care. We try to find solace in nature, but it can be verging on the sublime. And to me, the sublime means something like when you go to Niagara Falls, you see the immense power, the like incalculable power of the raging water, and you're like both stunned, both in awe, like your mouth is open, you have an emotional response, like you're both excited at the prospect of seeing something so large compared to you. You can't really wrap your head around it, but there's a little bit of fear too, like going into nature and facing that sublime. And what I'm trying to get at is that nature just continues on its own cycle. And we have completely forgotten that we are creatures of cycles, we are creatures of habits, and sometimes when we feel like we're all out of control, things are out of whack, we can't keep up. You know, what slow gaze means to me is zooming far enough out to see that actually we are in control every moment of now. Even though it feels like a lot of it is out of our control, that's okay. We are programmed. We have a lot of things in our faculties at our disposal to kind of rely on. And our bodies are amazing. And our capacity for empathy, for learning, for seeing, for, you know, all of our senses, a lot of it is amazing. And we just need to take a step back and step out of our own ways, really, and notice those cycles again, feel okay in the swing of things, feel okay with inertia and change. So that is what I've been unpacking recently about slow gaze on my channel. So again, welcome if this is your first time seeing my face, talking to me here on YouTube, talking and engaging with the new family you found here. I started YouTube, just posted my first ever like 4-minute video. It had way too much going on. There were filters, there was a voiceover, there were like 10 million cutaways. It took forever for me to film and even figure out how to edit. And that was back in the very early dregs of July of 2020. Now that it's mid-month of November, it feels like so much has changed, obviously. We just went through that giant presidential and multitudinal political election here. We're all coming off of some kind of high, but only to roll into another high, right? We're going into the holidays. So I just wanted to say hi to all the new faces that have gotten me this far. Thank you as well to all the people who have bought me a coffee. Your generosity has really helped me put content up, buy certain makeup, and buy this new camera. I do have a new camera. I kind of jumped the gun on it because I really think it's been helping my audio and visual quality. Let me know down below if you even noticed. And in the last moments here we have with this video, I wanted to say that for my low buy, I had a 6-month low buy all planned out. I had the budgets, I had everything kind of in categories, and I'll link my announcement down below if you're interested in seeing the originator of this movement for me, this mini movement. And it was meant to go from September 1st to March. So I'm still right in the thick of it. I can tell already that a lot of my behaviors and a lot of the initial categories that I set myself up for, they're moot at this point. Like, my goals are constantly changing, my reality is constantly changing, and here on YouTube too, it feels like such a task to enumerate all of my purchases and tell you why I bought something or why I didn't buy something. Obviously that's content that people can find useful and content that people are interested in, and that's kind of the whole point of sharing, right? It's so that we can all track and communicate and jump in with each other. But I'm finding it kind of difficult to get motivated around a video that just kind of tracks things, you know? I did buy more makeup, I did, and I did go over my allotted beauty budget. So I'm telling you, whether or not you take it as a failure or a, oh man, this person can't keep up with their own rules that they've set for themselves, doing something here on YouTube, it is both being accountable to you, but accountable to myself, most importantly. So that's also why I feel comfortable stepping away from those rules, because the more I think about it, the more that those rules aren't exactly applying to my situation right now. All that to say, I did buy new makeup. I did regret some of it, but I'm also processing that, because to regret it is a feeling, and that feeling is something I can learn from. I also can justify it in my brain because I haven't been buying things in the home decor category, shoes and clothing category, like everything else is basically on hold, and the makeup has been getting me going. I'm also thinking of streamlining my makeup quite considerably, and through that I do want to find like not my perfect things, but I bought some Ilia eyeshadows, which I'm really loving and I'm trying every day. I bought Fresco and I bought Glaze, I think, that like milky silvery tone, champagne. I bought the Ilia Dreamer blush that I've always wanted to try, the multi-stick, and then I bought 3 palettes. One is a face palette, Sculpture by Hourglass. One is Naughty by Huda Beauty, and then the Natasha Denona Glam palette during the Sephora VIB sale. So those 3 palettes that I just mentioned, don't need them in my collection, but I'm kind of interested in keeping them just to see a few things. Like particularly with the Natasha Denona Glam one, I have the bronze palette and I want to mix my perfect warm and neutral / cool leaning palette all in one. The Naughty palette I gave in because I don't have too many other Huda palettes that are made in Italy but have that neutral story, so I didn't buy her like Desert Dusky one or any of the other nude palettes except the 9 pans. I bought into it and I don't know. It is beautiful and I don't know if I can let go of it yet, but then I discovered that returning it just means that they're going to destroy the makeup anyway. Yes, there will be money in my bank account, but I'm trying to struggle and reconcile with the feeling of either giving it back and letting them handle it with me turning a blind eye, and then still having money at my disposal, which is a good thing in one sense, like in the monetary sense. It is a good thing, but in all other senses, like the shipping back, destruction of it, the fact that nobody can use these barely used beautiful palettes. So keeping it also means I can make content for y'all and try to talk more about my feelings about them. So that's another like benefit if I keep them. We'll see. That's just the update. Thinking more about either a full-on no buy in 2021 or just having a list, like a pre-approved list of what I can buy in that new year. What do you think? I really have to get going, get on the road, get some coffee into my system, and I will drive safely to see my mom. We are going to yap and hike and cook and just generally enjoy each other's goofy personalities together. I love her so much. Happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you very soon on my next video. Thank you again. Adios.
Please handle this side up. You got me upside down.